Do we not dress up to our kids' Christmas concerts anymore? Because their parents are in sweatpants and they just rolled out of bed.
You might think I'm a bitch, you might think I'm judgmental, you might think I'm privileged, you might think I'm snooty, whatever else. I was asking a genuine question. So y'all have a nice day. Thanks for the views and the content. I got more followers, so I'm really excited for my new followers.
Perhaps you shouldn't have showed up an hour early at that concert, because clearly you had too much time on your hands to be critiquing what folks were wearing. Now, what I find funny is I bet her child didn't even play a main role in that performance.
I ever come to one of my children's events not put together, it's because of the amount of time that I put into them after my work day to get them to this event that I'm paying for them to participate in.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena and today we have a festive, annoying video to get into. If you're new here, we dive into the messiness on the internet, whatever I feel like talking about, and I always want you to tell me your opinion down below. Let's keep it cute and respectful in the comments. If you're coming back, welcome back. I miss you guys. Again, I'm trying to be more consistent, so currently filming in my nursery, and I need to fix this. I need to fix this mess behind me. But y'all know I'm pregnant and nesting, and I've been getting stuff. I've been Facebook marketplacing and buying diapers on Kroger clearance, so I need to figure out a configuration method. Anyways, I kept on this festive Christmas sweater just for you because I thought it was funny given the context of this video. I don't know if you saw my last video, but let's go ahead and dive into the sweater real quick before we get into the video because I think the sweater is so funny. I don't know. Let me know if you think this sweater is funny. But it says North Swole and it's a thirst trap. Santa. Even the back. And then, again, he has a tattoo of Mrs. Claus. I just think it's so funny. If you're wondering, this sweater is from Marshall's and it was in the men's section. So for today's video, we do have a lady. Her name is Annalee Guerretto. She has 746 followers on TikTok and she had a viral video. It looks like it's now deleted off of her page and her responses appear to be deleted during the time of filming. But guess who caught it? I caught it! So thankfully my quick thumbs downloaded and got the videos so we can talk about the messiness. Before we see her viral video, I want you to tell me your opinion down below. So get your fingers ready because I think this discussion is interesting. To be honest, we'll dive into the video, I'll share some comments, I'll share some responses from other creators, and then I'll share my opinion. So check out Annalee's video.
Do we not dress up to our kids' Christmas concerts anymore? Because their parents are in sweatpants and they just rolled out of bed. And I just don't understand. I am in a full dress and Christmas decor and a bow in my hair and stockings and boots and I put some cord in and I post a picture of my kid and I. He's in a nice black button down, black pants, black shoes. There are some kids actually in black t-shirts instead of black button downs also. So their parents are probably the ones with the sweatpants on. So I'm just confused. Like, are we not dressing up for our kids' Christmas concerts? Are we not? I feel overdressed. I feel very, very overdressed right now.
Oh, okay, just so y'all know, I actually just got this sweater last week and it's already ripping. So if you wanted to get this sweater, I don't know what I did. I don't wear my watch on this hand, but anyways, let's dive into the comments. Bullying is learned at home. You're wearing a sweater and Claire's earrings. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, she responds a lot in these comments and she is doubling down. Some parents showed up in sweatpants, you showed up dressed up. Congrats to everyone for showing up. That's the actual achievement here. Annalee says, this is crazy. I grew up in schools and organizations that promoted dressing to impress. And the parents took pride in their attire as well. It's giving, I'm a nice person because I go to church on Sunday. Sorry. My dad used to come straight from working in construction, dirty jeans, flannel jacket, and work boots. Guess what? I didn't care what he was wearing. You should stand up and make an announcement in person next time.
Do we not dress up to our kids' Christmas concerts anymore?
Do we not actually film our children or grandchildren and not ourselves anymore?
Other parents recording their kids. Miss Perfect recording herself. There's a reason why she's talking so low, because parent shaming is actually awful. I did notice that she was talking low in her video. This comment section didn't go how you thought it would, huh?
Now would be a wonderful time to apologize to your child. And that apology could sound a little something like this. Child, I'm really sorry that when I came to your school program tonight, where the focus should have been solely on you, I chose, while surrounded by the parents of your peers, surrounded by your community, I chose to make a public video speaking poorly about the people in your community, about your peers' parents. I took the focus off of you, my child, who this event was about, and I made it about how I was dressed and how other parents were dressed. I took the focus off of what really mattered. I made it about myself, and I'm real sorry about that. Even with the bow in my hair, I probably shouldn't have done that. I apologize. That would be a great example for your child.
Showing up for your kid is the flex, not the outfit. No, it's not a flex, it's the bare minimum. Oh my gosh! This is sad that you think this way. Well, I guess y'all can tell my opinion, but I'm gonna keep reading. As someone who didn't have a mom who showed up, I would have taken the sweatpants, but judge away. I'm confused. Sorry. I'm confused. You're dressed up?
I just attended my daughter's winter recital yesterday because that's what they call it at her school. They don't call it a Christmas concert. We don't call it that at my school either. Perhaps there are still schools that call it a Christmas concert. Maybe they only serve a Christian population of students, but that's neither here nor there. You want to know what I wore? What I had on at work. You want to know why? Because I went straight from my school to her school. And I didn't have time to go home and put on a fancy outfit. Her dad worked second shift the night before, and he was going to work second shift that night. Do you want to know what he wore? A hoodie and some pants, because he was tired. Perhaps you shouldn't have showed up an hour early at that concert, because clearly you had too much time on your hands to be critiquing what folks were wearing. Now, what I find funny is I bet her child didn't even play a main role in that performance. My daughter was featured on keyboard and vocals for both of the songs Modern Band performed. And I wore what I wore and her dad wore what he wore. And we were still there supporting her and she did a great job. That should have been the point. Okay?
Girl, I'm a teacher and don't even dress up when my students perform. Do we not mind our own business anymore? No, we don't. We're allowed to have observations. 20 years ago, parents dressed up to the school concerts. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. How about we worry about ourselves and not others? Annalise says, no, if the kids are expected to look polished and professional, then the parents should help set that example.
People are talking about this mom because she was kind of in the right and she was kind of in the wrong. Hear me out. But she went to her kids' holiday performance and she's looking around and she's like, I thought parents dressed up for these types of things and like it doesn't look like anybody is anymore. And it kind of would have been, I think, okay to ask that question kind of vaguely. But then she goes on to talk about how she is so dressed up for the occasion, which that is subjective. And she keeps seeing people showing up in sweatpants and just kind of looking like they're not putting, I guess, as she perceives it, as much effort as she is. To which I will say she did double down with that. I don't think most people were taking her out of context. I think she took them out of context about the whole like wear sweatpants if that's what makes you happy, but don't call showing up to your kids' event a flex. And here's the hard-hitting truth. Number one, yes, of course, the most important thing is that you show up when you're able to your kids' events. But also, it's a very valuable lesson to teach your kids how to properly dress for different situations. Especially something that is considered a special occasion. What inspired this video was actually this video, where this content creator is like kind of shaming other moms and saying like, oh, well, like if your kid is watching you, talk poorly about other people who dress poorly, like then you're just raising a bully effectively. And I don't completely agree with that sentiment. Now, I want to be clear. I don't know what she was doing this day. For me, I just hosted a Christmas party and my makeup's still on, but there is still a very big difference even between like how she showed up and how I showed up. And that's the ultimate thing I kind of want to get at too. Like, yes, showing up for your kid is very important, but teaching them how to present themselves to the world, how to carry themselves is also equally as important. I think that there's a certain level of intersectionality where I do understand how frustrating it is that there is a certain expectation maybe for some, i.e. being a Black woman. There's an expectation that if I do not meet a particular aesthetic, that by default for some people I am lesser than, even though that's bullshit. But I also understand that like you have to kind of dress for the event that you're going to. Like sweatpants and leggings are not always acceptable. And if you're an adult and you are getting dressed in the morning, you can pull out a dress or a pair of pants or what have you to wear later when you get to your kid's event. Not everybody has to be dripped out and Brunello Cucinelli to make their opinion or status known, right? But you, especially in this day and age where you can like find the aesthetic of anything for a pretty affordable price, you should be dressing up within reason for your kids' affairs, right? Not everything is going to call for a nice fancy dress, and nice fancy dress is also subjective, but like not putting forth effort, I think is objective. And last but not least, ultimately, yes, your kids are going to remember you being there, but your kids will also remember how their parents are talked about after they leave. Your kids are also going to remember how it felt when they were made fun of when they did not have the proper clothes. Your kids are going to remember how it felt when you did not put effort into your parents to go. And again, you're putting effort into your parents doesn't mean you have to wear like a hoity-toity suit. It means changing out of the same sweats you wear around the house all day into a nice little black dress or a red dress or something mildly festive, which for the most part you can kind of do on a budget. Even just changing up what you're wearing shows the significance of a situation, and that is impactful for a child.
Put Annalie on the runway, y'all. We're in the presence of fashion greatness. Sorry. These comments always get me. Okay. As an educator, we don't care what you wear. We are happy you showed up. If anything, it's odd to dress up for a kid's Christmas concert. People are dying, Annalie. Girl, as someone who literally goes to that school, it was a jazz band concert. It was not a formal event at all. It was literally an event where you could get chili and watch the concert. Chili at a Christmas concert? That's new. And seems casual to me. Just saying. Founding father... Y'all need... Founding father curls and a sweater. Watch out, world. She's headed to the Met Gala. This is from my daughter who remembers everything. What's your favorite thing I ever wore to one of your Christmas programs? I don't remember anything you've worn. What? Y'all are so... Oh my gosh. This is the standard, y'all. Step up. You look like you're ready for a trip to Walmart in Idaho. That is very specific. Secure women don't feel the need to tear others down. Agreed. As a mom who had to pack 2 bags to go to a DV shelter and use those 2 bags for mostly my daughter's things, I knew parents like you were judging me, but I still showed up. My daughter was well dressed, and that's the best I could do at the time.
You've seen the video of the woman who is filming right before her children's Christmas concert and says, so I guess we're not dressing up for our kids' Christmas concerts anymore, in a really derisive way. First of all, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to make fun of her or what she was wearing or anything like that. That's not what we do around here. But what I do like to do around here is talk about the things I haven't seen anyone else talking about yet. Now, very importantly, and even in her follow-up video, what everyone is talking about, and like the most important thing is that what matters to your kids is that you're there. I went to this open house for my 6-year-old the other week, and I will like hold in my heart, because I didn't tell her I was going, when she turned around and she saw me, like forever. And then she did like little heart hands because she had to stay like exactly where she was in her seat. She couldn't run to me. Like forever, I will hold in my heart the way that her face lit up when she saw me. And that is absolutely the most important thing. And I +1 every single person who said that. But as I said, there are 2 things that I haven't seen people touch on enough that I just want to like spend a little moment on. The first is that every time that I have gone to an event for my children and I haven't looked put together, let alone an event where my children were performing, the amount of effort that I was putting into getting them ready for that performance was directly proportional to how much time I had to get ready, right? So if your children are going out on stage As an unselfish parent, who are you going to get ready first? Your kids or you? And the reality of the situation is that there have been times when both of my girls have been performing and they've had like really intense hair and makeup, or my younger one's uncomfortable in her costume, or whatever the case may be. And I end up with like 3.5 minutes to get ready. And it's like throw something together or be late. First of all, I'm not looking at anyone else, which I'll get to in a minute, but I have that self-knowledge to know that if I ever come to one of my children's events not put together, it's because of the amount of time that I put into them after my work day to get them to this event that I'm paying for them to participate in. Like, it's the burden that we put on parents that it's like, pay for your kids to have the activities, get them ready for the activities, show up for the activities, and look hotter. It's just kind of unrealistic. And I don't deny the fact that I have thin privilege, so I can put on a t-shirt and a pair of jeans and look more put together than how someone in a larger body would be treated in the exact same outfit. But here's what I think is like really kind of the part is that, you know, we all walk this world with like varying amounts of self-esteem and confidence and comfort around strangers, including other parents, like even as grown-ups, we don't necessarily outgrow that. And I think that like what we tell ourselves or like what people tell us is like, no one is looking at you. Everyone is like so busy with their own lives that no one is looking at you. Like, do you know how uninteresting and boring someone would have to be to look at you and judge you? And so I kind of hate that that video is out there, because everyone who's like been given this kind of like heartening confidence of like no one who has anything interesting going on is looking at you. They're like, there are people looking at me. But if you rewatch the last 30 seconds, you won't feel bad about that.
I just know your kids' concerts are your big outings for the year. Dang. You have the confidence of a woman with much better taste. I'm sorry, I get off at 5. It's at 5:30. At least I'll be there, but do your thing, Cindy Lou Who.
Do I? I'd like to. I get a little bit dressed up, not like fancy dressed up. We definitely put on clothes that we'd wear to work, so maybe like business casual, but nobody cares what people are wearing to these concerts. Those kids are just happy their mom and dad are there, and their mom and dad may not have time to go home and change, or they just want to be comfortable. I mean, we used to get dressed to go to movie theaters, and now we put on pajamas and bring blankets. So, no, just go to the concert, and if you want to dress up, you dress up. Somebody doesn't want to dress up, let them. At least they're there supporting their kid. That's all that matters.
So Annalie responds a couple times, so I'm just going to play those videos here and read some comments in between.
Okay, so since y'all decided to really come at me for apparently it's okay to wear sweatpants, and look, you can wear sweatpants to your kid's school concert. Wear what you would like to wear. It's your body. I was just making an observation. I had an hour to burn before this concert. And I looked around, and nobody was dressed up. And I came from an area that dressed up for the concerts and for the school events and et cetera, 20 years ago, and all the parents looked nice, and that was normal. So I genuinely was like very confused, and I expected to look around and see better than sweatpants or different than sweatpants, so I really was confused by it. However, the bare minimum is to show up, so we shouldn't be celebrating showing up. It's not a flex to show up. You need to show up. Show up.
The bare minimum is not mumbling. Actually, it's a privilege to be able to show up, because some parents have to work during those hours to provide for their family. Hope this helps. Seek therapy, you weird bitch. Oh my god. Ooh. Need to take a nap. To me, you weren't dressed up. You weren't confused. You were feeling better than everyone else and wanted to get some validation for how much better you were doing than many of the other parents. You were being smug and expected a rash of people to join you in being supercilious about the decline of society. But you didn't get that. And yes, we can be proud of parents showing up, because sometimes there are innumerable reasons why even that is hard. So when I go to school events, it's not hard to not give a shit about what people wear, and to be happy to see people there, because I don't know what they have going on in life that may make that hard. Shout out to Aquila and the Bee. I knew how to pronounce that supercilious word because of Kiki Palmer. So in my experience, the parent who dresses over the top are the ones who have the most to hide. You know what? I believe that. As someone who works as a labor and delivery nurse, 12.5-hour day shifts, and married to someone in the military with no other family here, it is absolutely a flex to show up. My mother would come to my show dressed normally, and my father was the one who always wanted to dress to impress. He valued others' opinions, my mom didn't. Guess who's in my life the most? OMG, you made 2 videos about it. This is a lot of words for I'm actually a mean girl, and my original video didn't find the other mean girls. I love when I find an explanation video and it's the same thing as the first video, so you get dragged twice. Dang! I bet you have those Hobby Lobby signs throughout your house. She also has a response video telling everyone that they're mean.
Y'all are wild, and pretty damn mean. I am shocked at how many views my school concert attire video has gotten. If you're here from that, hi, hello. Y'all are mean. I asked a question to the strangers of TikTok. That's what we do. We have questions. We have questions and we ask the strangers of TikTok our questions for answers. And y'all answered me. Oh, you definitely answered me. Again, I grew up with an audience that dressed a certain way, and that was expected, and it was expected that the kids followed those dress guidelines too, and if they did not get to perform. That's the community I grew up in. So I was asking the TikTok audience, strangers of the world, if what I remembered to be normal was still today's standard of normal. I was confused that it's not. You all answered me. Now, did I have a lot of people agree with me that they thought it was still normal and that they dress up and that's their expectation? Yes, I did. Do I understand my privilege, that I am privileged to dress different than sweatpants and come to a show? Yes. Do I acknowledge that I grew up differently and had different expectations of what was normal? Yes. So I asked the general public of TikTok. Anyway, I'm moving on from this. Y'all gave me answers. Apparently you don't dress up for school concerts. Again, this was not an elementary school concert in a gym or a cafegimatorium, wherever y'all called it. This was a nice performing arts center auditorium. Their Christmas formal concert where middle school and high school kids have been practicing all year. This is not required for every student. It's their elective, they're in choir, they're in band, etc. because they want to be. And again, if I was a kid, I would have been sent to sit in the audience with my parent if I didn't show up in the required dress code. So it was strange to me to see that different now, and I asked the internet if it was different now, and y'all gave me answers. So cool, thanks for the answers. We'll do this again one day. One day there will be another time where I have questions, because what I think is normal might not be normal, and I'm going to ask y'all. So, till we meet again, I'm going to be posting my clarinet content. Today starts day 1 of playing the clarinet again after not playing for 15 years. So stick around if you're here from my controversial don't wear sweatpants to the concerts video. We're going to be playing the clarinet again, sounding terrible, posting random food and stuff that my kids do and random stuff. If you want to come watch the random on TikTok, here I am. Also, I am an atheist liberal, so do not think that I voted for Trump, because I'm not taking that. I'm not, do not put me in that. You might think I'm a bitch, you might think I'm judgmental, you might think I'm privileged, you might think I'm snooty, whatever else. I was asking a genuine question, so take that with what you want. But here we are. If you're still here, hi, I'm 32. I'm gonna play the clarinet again. This is my content. I have 2 kids, 2 Dalmatians, 2 cats. Y'all have a nice day. Thanks for like the views and the content. I got more followers, so I'm really excited for my new followers. The whole I have a whole 500 something followers now, but let's play the clarinet together. So let's stick around. Cool. Have a nice day.
Is this your first day on the internet? We match energy here. We're mean. Y'all are mean for calling me out for still being a mean girl in my ripe old age. Did the community also advocate for... Did the community I can't even read this. Did the community also advocate for dental care? In the comments, you called parents lazy because they didn't dress up, but we are being mean. Comments weren't mean enough, apparently. A question with ill intent. Make sure you add the details. You didn't say it like that. I grew up that way too, and it was a privilege. That's what you're missing. Your question was mean, and the tone missed. You're still missing it being on the defense. Some people are barely hanging on, trying to do everything and be present for their kids. She says, I acknowledge the privilege if you watch the video. I also saw that after the whole Christmas concert fashion attire drama happened, she started to make her other content as usually scheduled, and she has this story about neutering her guinea pig, which I'll play real quick, but it is kind of weird, and it's a drastic change going from her calling other parents lazy to this.
Does anyone want to hear the story about how I once had a guinea pig named Frank and he had to get neutered and the neutering did not go right and he had a permanent boner and I had to lube him every day? Yeah, if you want more of that story, let me know.
Remember when people used to dress up to pick up their clarinets? They used to look nice when they picked up their clarinets.
Someone says, we want to hear the story on how you decided... Okay, I'm sorry. Don't send hate to anyone in this video. These comments are getting me today. Back when I was young, we don't discuss our pets' boners on the interwebs. Maybe it's just the way I was raised, but the expectation was that our pets' boners were not discussed outside the home. But how is the guinea pig dressed? That's so true though. 20 years ago, where I grew up, parents didn't publicly talk about inappropriate topics like this unless they were wearing sweatpants. And you know what, y'all? I'm on the side of everyone else. I don't think that we should be judging other parents, especially because you don't know people's situation. Now that I am becoming a parent and I'm pregnant, it just makes me think about a lot of other stuff I never thought about before. Like, how are people getting their babies onto the school bus and then picking them up after school? If you work during daytime hours, you have to really manipulate your schedule, and bosses don't accommodate that. That's just one thing. But also, depending on your line of work. Like, if someone shows up in scrubs, I don't think they should be judged for it. Or like that other comment said, if they are doing other work where they're gonna get their hands dirty or they're gonna have paint on their overalls, who cares as long as they show up? Your kid is not going to remember that. My dad taught me at a young age that you should never comment or judge how someone else is parenting because you never know, what's going on. But to judge about someone's appearance, I think that's diabolical because, number one, this is the internet. And like we've talked about before, people will humble you quick. But also, too, if you're going to judge someone else for their appearance, you can't be mad and call other people mean if they're going to judge your appearance back. But also, Annalie, what you did was so rude. And it is ironic that you're sitting there filming that at your kid's concert while you could be there and present for your kid. Who cares if they were still setting up or whatever? But you're sitting there looking around at the kids, looking around at their parents and guardians and saying, oh, essentially, they don't look like I want them to look. Well, the internet's gonna say you don't look like how they want you to look. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's wrong. I don't think we should talk about anyone's appearance. I also think it just means the world if your parent can be there if you're doing a performance. So I didn't have both of my parents at my performances all the time. It makes a difference if they're there. Just show up. That's all you have to do is show up. And so it's really hard for everyone to show up because we have schedules, we have transportation to think about. Not everyone has that privilege. Even though Annalie acknowledged that that is a privilege, her attitude said otherwise. That's all I gotta say. But let me know what y'all thought about this in the comment section down below. Do you feel like just showing up matters? Do you feel like we should dress up more? I think the same could be said for dressing up for flights. I think that was a big debate recently I saw on YouTube. No one dresses up for travel anymore, but honestly, why should we? In my opinion, I think if you plan to sleep on the plane, you should be comfortable. If you're going to a business meeting right after, yeah, but I don't think it's a requirement. I don't think that a kid's Christmas concert should have rules for attire. It's not like you're at a black tie event or you're not at a wedding. Yeah, also too, what does the dressing up even mean? They said you were in a sweater and Claire's earrings. Do you mean dress up as in pencil skirt? Blazer? You mean dress up as in a nice gown? Because you're gonna be in like an auditorium. So You're not at the opera. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!